Season of Discovery Phase 2 is finally here, and I want to take a look at the best in slot gear we have available for Shamans. We're going to be looking at every single spec and seeing what's what. This is going to be preliminary, meaning that I am going to do a full simmed gear list for BiS and pre-BiS once we have actually got going a bit more. But this, as I said, is the preliminary guide because I want to see what we've got to work with. So let's get into it, starting with Enhancement. On the head then, we're going for the glowing neuro-linked cowl, and this is going to be from Leatherworking, and this is actually going to be the new epic item, just like we had in Phase 1, but this is the Phase 2 version for professions. If you're not sure what profession to get for your second one, something like enchanting could be really useful, maybe alchemy or engineering. I will have a full guide out soon, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out, so you know exactly. Moving on to what we can actually get from this, strength, agility, stamina, very exciting, of course. It is going to give us an extra 1% hit chance, and when we use it on a 10-minute cooldown, we can inflict a neurological shock, instantly dealing damage to ourselves, but also increasing our melee and range attack speed by 20% for 10 seconds. This is interesting how it's going to also work in with our flurry talent. You need to make sure you're not overlapping these. I would say personally, I'm not too sure if they do actually stack, but ideally I would say to keep an eye on that. Again, when I start simming these properly once the patch launches, we can actually look a bit more into that. On the neck then, we're going to have the Nomagan Peace Officer's Talk. This is going to improve your chance to get a critical strike by 1% and give you 16 attack power. One thing to note on here is, again, with the Flurry talent, which you can see here, increasing your attack speed by 10% for the next 3 swings after getting a critical strike. And because of that, we are going to want lots of this crit chance on our gear. It's going to be really, really useful as for enhancement. And there's going to be quite a few pieces that do offer this. There's also the Trog Slayer Pauldrons. Again, where we're getting these from, it's mostly Nomagan. I will tell you if it's from PvP, etc. We don't know what bosses these drop off yet, so we'll have to wait and see when the patch launches. 22 attack power on there. On the cloak, there's a few options. I, again, have gone with the Blood-Drenched Drape, specifically because of that crit chance like we just spoke about. There's also the Prototype Parachute one, which has a bit of agility and stamina, whereas this doesn't have any, but it does have the crit. And again, I think we are going to have to wait until we can sim this properly to see how this turns out. There's also the Drape of Dismantling. But with the crit chance, I am hoping, well, I mean, I don't actually care really which one's better, but I'm just hoping that, this is going to be the right choice as per this guide. I can't, obviously say for certain yet, so we're going to have to wait and see. The Electromantic Chainmail is what we're going for on the chest, and this is the set piece. We're going to get all 3 pieces of the set, and this is going to improve again our chance for crit by 1%, give us 26 attack power. Got a bit of intellect and stamina on it, not amazing stats. We are going to get 24 attack power with the set, and your attacks have a 5% chance of restoring some mana. So this is a really, really good set. It's also going to be on the legs and feet. That's how you get that full set. Forest Stalker's Bracers on the wrists, which is going to be from Warsong Outriders. It is a PvP reward, and you are going to need Exalted with them to get this. So if you don't want to do that and you're thinking, oh yeah, I'm not doing that, then Experimental Aim Stabilizers would be the other option, in my opinion, that are from Nomagan. Going then on to the weapons, assuming we're going with one-handed, you've got these fist weapons here. Mechatorque's Arcano Shredder has some agility and strength. Chance on hit to discharge a blast of 8 arcane damage, dealing 30 damage, reducing all resistances by 45, and increasing all spell damage taken by 6% from 20 seconds. Now, assuming this is actually on the target for everyone and not just by the Shaman, this is massive and really useful. But I'm not 100% sure on that either. Again, we're going to have to sim and see how this comes out, and that will be in my full gearing guide once the patch launches. Cogmaster's Claw on the offhand. Now, if you are going to go two-hand here, it's going to be the Thermoplugs Rocket Cleaver with 29 strength and 12 stamina. Or from PvP, this is the Bloodstorm War Totem, and this will be from the Blood Moon event rewards in Stranglethorn Vale, which, by the way, have amazing, amazing rewards. You can see here strength, stamina, intellect, chance on hit, knocks the target silly. And this is what you're going to be going for with these. Thermoplugs, I think, does come out a lot better. But yeah, depends on what kind of rotation spec we're going for here. I'm just, with these guides, the preliminary ones at least, I'm just kind of trying to think of every single possibility. Machinist's gloves are an absolute must. Main thing on here is you can see the equip is 30 plus attack power when fighting mechanical units, which we are going to be doing a lot of in Nomagon. I think that just speaks for itself with being best in slot, or BiS, in Phase 2. Dark Vision Girdle then on the waist, improving your chance to hit by 1% and adding 24 attack power. We're getting a lot more hit on our gear at this level as well, which is really useful. Like I already said, the set bonus, the Electromantic on the legs and feet here, which we spoke about with the chest already. On the ring, you're just going to stay with your Legionnaire's band from PvP. It's really, really good still. And then there's this unique equipped gear. This is the same as the Void Pearls we had in Phase 1. It's a unique equip. There's a few different ones. The one I recommend for enhancement is going to be the Devastation one, adding strength, agility, stamina, and some resistances that are going to be really, really useful when we get into Nomagon, which it is from Nomagon as well, so you know, it works out perfectly. Do also still keep your Avenger's Void Pearl if you already have it. If you don't already have it, could still be really good to get this. The reason being, BFD is going to give us a huge wave of XP every time we do it, up to 39 level 40. And this drops from Akame on the last boss that you roll for. It's a quest and you get to choose which one if you weren't already aware. This is still really, really good for a lot of classes in Phase 2. Gyromantic Experiment 420B on the other trinket, which is going to increase your attack speed and give you some attack power. Pretty simple there. And then you can just use the Carved Driftwood Totem in the totem. Okay, let's now have a look at Elemental. And we're going to have a lot more random kind of gear on here. If you are going Elemental, I would suggest that you actually go tailoring, not level working. Reason being, this Neuro-linked Arcano Filament Monocle is fantastic, adding damage and healing by 22, restoring mana. You can use it every 10 minutes to restore your mana, sorry, not restore mana, reduce your mana cost by 50%, and also increase your damage by up to 50 for 12 seconds. On the neck, it's going to be the Piston Pendant. This is really, really good. A lot of these items I'm going to be showing you are going to increase your damage and healing done. Fantastic. Lightning Rod Spaulders, increasing chance to hit by 1%, increasing nature damage by 17, which is fantastic. Is going to depend on what obviously you're casting here, but this is a really good item overall without any extras. Blood Rock Cloak then on the cloak, increasing damage and healing by 11. Again, very simple. Going for the irradiated set here on the chest, increasing your crit, increasing your damage and healing done up to 23. It is, however, going to take off some stamina and strength, but it is adding intellect, spirit, and nature resistance. Overall, this is a really, really good item. Ornate Dark Iron Bangles on the wrist, improving your chance to hit again by 1% and increasing damage and healing. It's pretty self-explanatory on a lot of these items. The Glimmering Gizmo Blade, again, doing pretty much the same thing on the dagger. And then there's this amazing shield, which is again from PvP, which is really, really fantastic with 5 stam, 8 intellect, only for shamans. Every spec, every class has something like this, you know, depending on what they can wield from Blood Moon. They've definitely really upped their game on the PvP rewards this phase, and you can see there it increases damage and healing done again. We've got the Dreamweave Tailoring Hands on the hands, and then we've got the Electromagnetic Waist Cord on the belt. Again, an extra 1% chance to hit, and we've got some more damage and healing there. Actually going to change over to the Electromantic again on the legs, just because they are so good. Adding up to 22 damage and healing alone just from the legs, whereas if we had gone for the free set with the irradiated one, we're actually only going to get 11 from that free set. When you do look at it then, you are going to notice that the irradiated does give 16, so it could actually be better overall, but it really depends what you are going for, with the Electromantic giving some more MP5, etc. And I think we are going to have to sim that. Overall, the other ones could be better, but again, I just want to give you guys some options at this point. Irradiated boots, of course, on the boots. Conflagration is the actual unique gear you're going to go for in an elemental, increasing damage and healing, and MP5 again. Keep the same PvP ring. Combustion chamber on the trinket gives some fire resistance and intellect, and randomly channels between 1 to 150 health into between 1 to 150 mana. I'm assuming whatever number of health it rolls on will then go into the same number of mana. You can also get the equip here which is going to increase damage and healing done. Rune of Perfection is still really, really good in this phase. This is from phase 1, decreasing the magical resistance of your spell targets by 10. If you don't have this or don't want to get this, then the Invoker's Void Pearl is still going to be really great, and keep that carved driftwood icon in your other slot. Going over to healing then in Restoration, there's actually quite a lot of the same items, but also a few different ones. Again, going with tailoring on the headpiece. We've got the Pendant of Homecoming, which we're swapping over to on the neck because it is just so fantastic for healing specifically. Synthetic Mantle on the shoulders, and the Cape of Hemostasis is really good for healing on the back. Keeping with the entire set of the Hyperconductive Shimmer, sorry, no, it was Irradiator before. We're going for the Hyperconductive Shimmer set, all three for healing. This is fantastic for healing, MP5, etc. on the entire set, giving you 14 Spirit and a ton of MP5 from the set bonus. Lev's oil-stained bindings are also fantastic with MP5 on the wrists. TLDR then in Restoration and a lot of healing specs, you're going to be getting a hell of a lot of MP5 back from your gear this phase. There's the Gear Mender's Grace, increasing healing by a massive 20 with some Intellect and Spirit on the main hand, and a Dielectric Safety Shield on the offhand doing basically the same thing. Sick Fingerless Gloves are really, really amazing. They do also increase damage of nature spells, so if you're watching this and you actually do Druid and etc. as well, these are fantastic. But of course we're not here for Druids, we're here for Shamans. Mech Mender's Sash again on the waist. As you can see, opposed to phase 1, in phase 2 we are actually getting a lot of gear that is specifically geared towards healing, which I think is really fantastic. I do like it when they split it out a bit more. Hyperconductive, of course, on the legs and and boots. That's from the rest of the set. Advisor's Ring again on the ring. It's the innovation gear you're going to want on the other finger. There's the Gniodine Pill Bottle, restoring MP5, and we can actually make a target ally immune to snare, and removing those snares and immobilizing effects on our use with that trinket. But side effects may include an upset stomach, heartburn, and shrinkage. Where's the shrinkage? I dare not ask. Staying with that Acolyte's Void Pearl, remember, because it does up to 20 healing. The healing one was the best one that you could get. Healer's really got, you know, not the short straw, but the long straw with that one. And again, use that carved driftwood icon. Let you guys let me know what you think about this in the comments below. I really want to hear your opinions. What are you thinking of doing in phase 2? Are you swapping specs, etc.? And by the way, if you need someone to level with, dungeon with, raid with, etc., please do join my Discord with a link down below for that, where we have a huge community, ever growing, of other Season of Discovery, retail, and Wattalk players who are all really invested in WoW in a non-toxic and very positive community. If you do need any help as well, I'm here in my Discord to help you with your class, rotation, gearing, UI questions, add-ons, you name it. If it's retail, classic, I don't mind. We have a really great community. If you want to go one step further, please do also consider becoming a Patreon or a member here on YouTube, where you get even more benefits, including being able to import my UI, getting all my keybinds and things like that. And I'll even help you actually set up your UI and add-ons. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in phase 2 of Season of Discovery.